Does an OWP need to have a college degree or IELTS? Okay, next
Another
question.
yes.
Can we apply at the same time?
Yeah, so SB and OWP, can they apply at the same time or can it be a family application?
What are the details to be included on the LOI of the OWP?
Kaya.
What? Hi guys! What's up? It's Sarky!
And Aileen.
Kung bago kayo sa channel namin guys, huwag kalimutan mag-subscribe at pindutin yung bell na yan para updated kayo sa mga bagong upload naman.
True lala.
True lala.
Alright.
Waka magulo.
So I know guys that we've been gone for a very long time.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
But right now we wanted to make this video as a third-part series of our DIY application, just so you guys can also have an idea on how to go about the DIY application for study permit and also for open work permit for your dependent, for your spouse. This can help in a way that you no longer need to get the services of an agency so that you can save up for your proof of funds. You can add that na lang instead of spending, but of course it depends. So you can get services from a consultant or an immigration lawyer or an agency if your situation is a bit complicated.
Yep, you can
So
save some money.
Yeah. So right now our topic for today is all about
Open work permit.
yes, OWP.
Yep.
So Sarky is my dependent. I'm an international student and he's under open work permit, right? Okay, so let's begin. I wrote down several questions here for open work permit application, eligibility, requirements. If you guys aren't following our Facebook page as of yet, please follow follow us at Sarky and Aileen.
Yeah.
We post updates over there, and also whenever we do vlog, we ask for an opinion for any questions so we can include this. And like right now what we're doing is that I was able to gather just 3 questions but we will be including them on this vlog. So thank you so much for those who participated. So question number 1.
Question number 1. What is an open work permit?
Oh, what is an OWP or an open work permit? So the difference between an open work permit and a closed work permit is that an open work permit, it's not job specific. So you're not tied to one employer or one specific job. And there's no need for an LMIA for an open work permit. It's a labor market impact assessment. Also, there is no like employment required or no offer of employment required. So for them, like, because there's an IMM form, an immigration form, where it's going to be asking you for this the application of an open work permit, where it's going to be asking you of the details of your employment. You just write there not applicable because you're applying for an open work permit. Okay, so that's an open work permit according to CIC.
CIC, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Number 2. Who can apply for an open work permit?
All right. So I had several questions about this earlier when we went live. There was a question about her husband being a skilled worker in Quebec and a welder, and he's been there for a year, and she's asking if she can apply for an open work permit. So right now we can answer that question because I researched that. I went to CIC and check if she can. All right. So as by definition of the CIC website, people who can apply for open work permit are people who applied for PR and they're waiting for the approval. So they can apply for an open work permit while waiting, including their dependent. So for example, I applied for PR. Sarky is on a closed work permit. That's just for an example. Sarky can now apply for an open work permit. I can apply for an open work permit. We're waiting for the decision. Another one is a temporary resident permit holder. Yeah, so for people like us, we can also apply for open work permit. For those temporary workers here on a temporary resident visa, they can also apply for a work permit, an open work permit.
Yep.
And there's a number 3. So number 3 are those people who are currently on a closed work permit but are being abused or at the risk of being abused in relation to their job. So they can apply for an open work permit, of course, upon further investigation din pa rin yun. And then number 4,
Spouse, common law partner.
of those people applying for AIPP,
IPP.
yes, or Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. So the spouse or the common law partner can apply for open work permit. There's another person who can apply. They are the spouse or common law partner of skilled worker. So those under NOCC, or spouse or common law partner of international students like me. So there are more on the list of those people who can apply for an open work permit. Just check the CIC website for that. But I just took those information of the people who would be interested in this video, since they're applying for international study permit or dependents of an international student, or those under temporary residents. So so far that's it. Okay, those are the people who can apply for open work permit. Now we proceed to the other questions.
What are the details to be included on the LOI of the OWP?
Kaya.
What? Nakakagigil ka. Question number 3. Ano ba yung mga nasa LOI nung OWP?
Actually, mahaba yung question na yun sa English. Tinagalog niya na lang. So what are the details to be included on the LOI or letter of intent of an OWP who is a dependent of an international student? So just like me and Sarki. Okay, there are several questions. There are people who ask me of that, and even asking for a copy of letter of intent of Sarki. So we will also discuss that today. Basically, the content of the OWP's LOI is the same as the content of the study permit or the statement of purpose of an international student. So it should also have a purpose of visit, home ties, and proof of finance or proof of funds. So for the purpose of visit, you have to defend or give out information on why you'd want to come to Canada. So aside from being an emotional and financial support of an international student, of course, that's already given. What else could you gain from coming to Canada? So we can say that the work experience you'd be getting here, the Canadian work experience, you would be able to acquire new skills, new learnings that you would be able to apply on the job that you would go back to when you go back to our home country. It would be a career upgrade for you because you'd be getting a Canadian experience, right? So those are the reasons why you'd be coming here to Canada, aside from the fact that you'd be able to contribute to Canada's economy because you'd be paying taxes too, right? And then another thing is for the proof of funds. So we all know it's 4,000 Canadian dollars required for an open work permit dependent, but I would still say go for more. The more the merrier.
The more the better.
Yes, the more the better, sabi ni Mr. Sabas.
The next is home tie.
Yes, of course. You also, even if you're an OWP, so whatever the home ties that the international student used on her SOP, you can also use that since you're partners. You are your spouse, your husband and wives, your common law partners. So you also have to have the same investments, the property, the job that you would go back to,
Kids.
Your children, of course, unless it's going to be a family application. So make sure that you have strong home ties. All right, so we'd go to another question. This is something that has been asked of us about an OWP several times. So I want to discuss this right now. So does an OWP need to be currently employed before his or her application? Were you employed during the application?
No.
No, he's not, right? You just came back from Saudi.
Saudi, yeah.
So he was working in Saudi, and then he went home to the Philippines 3 months prior to our application.
Yeah.
So he is unemployed during that time. But take note, guys, sobrang igsi lang nung time ng unemployment niya. So for me, I'm gonna say that it is ideal for the open work permit dependent of an international student to be currently employed or to at least have an employment background na hindi naman super layo prior to his or her application. I also asked the opinion of some of my friends who are also international students. So Patty said it's also the same thought that I have, that yes, the OWP needs to be employed because the visa officer might question kung ano yung kayang i-contribute. What would be the contribution of the OWP to Canada's economy? What are you gonna be doing here? Right?
Yung sa akin kasi, October ako umuwi, di ba?
Yeah, October.
October.
And then I lodged our application around December.
December.
No, was it December?
Or
November.
November.
Third week of November. So parang 3 months unemployed. So kaya pang ano kasi he's got a strong work background. In demands kasi yun dito sa Canada. So I think that was not a question. On his application. But for those other people who's asking about this, ideally yes. According to my friend Patty, who's also an international student, yun nga. So another friend of mine, her name is Lisa. She's also an international student studying in Lambton. Gave her opinion about this, and she said that ideally yes, an open work permit should be employed or at least have an employment background na hindi naman super tagal prior to the application or before the application. Pero it was not specified on the website that unemployment or being employed is part of the requirement, diba, of an open work permit. It's not. It's gonna be the discretion of the visa officer. And according to my friend Lisa, it all still depends on the what you have on your letter of intent. How are you going to defend that if you're unemployed, right? Still, it's going to be your letter of intent who will be able to give the VO more details about the reason why you want to come here to Canada, regardless if you're unemployed or not.
Galingan nyo lang.
Yeah, oo, tama, diba? So, ibigay nyo lang yung reason nyo. But how about for those housewives who are unemployed for like a very long time? Nag-aalaga ng mga chikiting, yes, those taking care of their little ones, taking care of the family, taking care of the households. So how about for them? Can they still apply for an open work permit? That depends. Actually, again, it all boils down to how strong your letter of intent is. If it's gonna be able to defend the reason why you would be coming here to Canada, like for example, because you guys are so used to being together as a family that you want to experience Canada together as a family as well. But here it is. You have to take the risk because you need to have a substantial amount of funds, liquid funds, meaning readily available funds.
Kailangan yung million.
Yes. So dapat ganon kalaki because the OWP will not be working. The student will only be able to work 20 hours. So bringing the family along with a housewife, it's not I don't have anything against that, but we're just trying to think of different situations. So if the housewife is unemployed, why would she be joining the husband? So it's because they want to be together, but we have plenty of money to cover our entire stay in Canada. We don't have to work. We're not going to be a burden on the government of Canada because we can sustain our stay there, right? But then again, all application, it entails risks. It's part of it. So the risk of that is that the government or the visa officer may question why you have that amount of money. So you have to defend that as well. So those are the opinions of my friends. So there's another question here.
What are the immigration forms needed?
Yes, so this is a question posted by our follower on our Facebook page. So the immigration forms needed for the application of open work permit are
IMM 1295.
Yes, so all this you will get in the CIC website, guys. Just type IMM forms, it will direct you, it will route you to the page that you need to go to, so you'd be able to download this form. So it's IMM
1295.
That is an application for work permit made outside of Canada. Of course, it's outside of Canada. Another IMM form is
5257B.
Yes, 5257B or application for temporary residence.
Yep. And the last one is IMM 5707 or 5645.
Yes, those are the family information immigration form that you need to submit as well. So those are mandatory. Those are required IMM forms, those three. There are other optional IMM forms that you would need to submit depending on the situation. So for example, you'd need
IMM 5476 and IMM 5409.
So IMM 5476 is if you have a representative applying in behalf of you. So it could be a consultant, an agency, a family member.
Okay, next
Another
question.
Yes.
Can we apply at the same time?
Yes, so SB and OWP, can they apply at the same time or can it be a family application? So yes, the answer is yes naman. You can apply at the same time just like us, diba? We submitted at the same time. So it's SB and OWP. That still depends on, again, how strong your SOP is, your LOI, your proof of funds, your home ties. Those are the things that you can consider. A lot of agencies, consultants, even us would say that it's less risky if you apply first, and then if you get your approval, apply for the family member, for your spouse. That's less risk for you. But it depends on how you will assess your situation.
Yep. Okay, next question.
Next question.
Next question. Does an OWP need to have a college degree or IELTS?
So there, a lot of people have been asking us that, kailangan ba ng OWP ko na college degree holder, or does he need to submit an IELTS result as well? Do they need to take an IELTS exam? So the answer is no.
No.
Sargi is an example of that.
Hindi ako nagkumuha.
Yes, Sargi didn't take any IELTS. It's only the primary applicant, which is the international student, depending on the requirement of the school. Pero it's not part of a requirement for the study permit application. So for open work permit holders or for open work permit applicants, it's not a requirement to be a college graduate or to even take the IELTS. You'll only be using that once you apply for your permanent residency.
Tama. Okay guys, last question.
Alright, huling question. Are there any restrictions or conditions on the open work permit of an OWP? Right? Parang redundant. But yeah, there may be some conditions or restrictions on the work permit. Always check the permit that would be given to you once you land here in Canada. It would be given to you by the officer. So there may be conditions, and it may include the type of work that you can do, who you can work for. So it can be employer specific as well, but it depends where you can work. So it can be just in the province of Ontario, in the province of Alberta. Sometimes it's there, so you always have to double check. Or how long you can work. Well, it's gonna be there for certain because your work permit will have an expiration date. So you have to leave Canada by then once it's expired. If you weren't able to be successful on your permanent resident plans, right? So so far, I think that covers all the questions that we had about OWP. If you have any further questions, you can just comment down below. And so this is the third part series of our DIY application. We already have the student application DIY, SOP, and now it's OWP. All the links will be in the description box.
below.
Yeah, it's gonna be on the description box so that you can start from the first series up until the third series. Okay, so that's about it for now, guys. As you have observed, medyo English kami ngayon. We're trying to also cater the other people who are watching our videos that are non-speakers of Tagalog. But of course, we cannot help rin na magsalita sa Tagalog. Nahirap na si Sarky. Pulang-pula na rin yung ilong niya.
Kung may natutunan kayo guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Agyaman kami.
Salamat. Thank you. Gracias. God bless and stay safe.
Goodbye.